Welcome back to Marvelous Dads. I'm Dave Mendonca. Today I am talking all about Wakanda Forever. This is a non-spoiler review, so don't worry about it. All right, let's get right into it. Saw the movie last night, and you know what? I had no expectations. We all know what happened. We know about the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman and some of the other drama that happened on set for Wakanda Forever, Letitia Wright's injury, and quite a few things, right? So I had no any sort of expectations for this. So going in, open mind, I just sat there. I heard about the other geeks and nerds on YouTube channels crying about the length of the film, what, 2 hours, 40 minutes, something like that, or about their high expectations. They were expecting all these different things about it. And I was like, you know what? From a human point of view, I know going in that what these guys had to deal with must have been rough. Okay. Think of yourself as director Ryan Coogler, right? You're Coogler, you have your Black Panther, you're writing that original sequel script with him in mind. Then he is blindsided by the news that Mr. Boseman uh, passed away. So he's got to do a full U-turn. What the heck is he going to do with this massive blockbuster film now that the key star is no longer there? So the right there, what do you do? I'm sure he was panicking, right? So going in, I knew just, you know what, let's see what he could serve up. He had every right. Well, I don't know if it's every right, but he could have had excuses to turn in a mediocre piece of you know what. But I must admit, seeing this film, I liked it. It was good. Pacing was good. It did not feel like 2 hours and 40 minutes to me. It was emotional. This movie was action packed. We're talking epic, like epic action scenes, slow motion, all that jazz. Like just really, I don't know. It was just really cool things were happening in those action scenes, and there was humor. I thought the cast did a good job. You know, I would say this movie, out of all the Phase 4 movies, I would rank it three, probably the third out of those. For me, right now, it's like Spider-Man No Way Home number one, Shang-Chi number two, and Wakanda Forever. So yes, Wakanda Forever. It surprised me. I did not expect this. I did not know what would happen and the quality of the film. Like obviously, with a director the caliber of Ryan Coogler, you know there will be some quality, obviously, but you just don't know when you get hit with all these different pieces of drama on set and what happened with Boseman and whatnot. You don't know what you're going to get. But tip of the cap to you, Mr. Coogler. It was a good film. They handled Black Panther slash Boseman's death very beautifully, respectfully. They gave it its due throughout the film, and it was the right thing to do. And I think he would have been pleased. Boseman would have been pleased if he saw this film. It was really well done from that standpoint. Some of the acting, Angela Bassett, powerful. What else would you expect, right? She was great. For me, a couple of people stood out in this film. Letitia Wright, this was her film. Yeah, she stepped up her game and she did not disappoint. I didn't know she had this in her, just raising the emotion and just where she had to go and some of the depths she had to go in terms of emotion for sure. I'd never seen her like this before. She was just the kid sister in the original Black Panther. So for her to step up her game, I was impressed. She definitely got my attention. So she was great. Someone who stole the show, in my opinion, this Dominique Thorne, Riri Williams in the film, aka Ironheart. I thought she was fantastic. Every scene she was in, pretty much, I thought she stole the show. She had this like kinetic energy, this fast talking, humorous kind of vibe to her. And I love her character. She plays the super smart Riri Williams, takes on some of the Tony Stark tech and that sort of stuff, obviously, with Ironheart. She's coming out with her own series very soon. Loved her. I thought she was a pleasant surprise. She was another one. I had no idea what would come about with her character, her acting. I had never seen her in anything before, but she was a delight. I thought she was fantastic. And it just makes me a bit more excited to watch Ironheart because when I first heard it was coming out, I was kind of like, okay, sure. Like I'm a massive MCU fan, so I will check it out. But I wasn't like overly excited or anything about it. But now seeing her performance in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I definitely want to see that series. So another character, another actor, the guy who played Namor, I would love to say his name, but I don't want to butcher it. I thought he was solid. He brought a certain regalness to it, a certain intensity. The story itself, of his nation, like how the way they adapted Namor in this movie was definitely a lot different than what's in the comic books. Obviously, appearance, they went more with like an Aztec kind of look with Namor as opposed to what was in the comics. And his home is not Atlantis, it's Talcon, I believe that's the name. So I thought he held his own. And from what I understand, Namor will have some pretty big plans in the MCU going forward. But I thought the actor did a solid job. I thought he did well. And essentially, he's one of these villains that Marvel or Marvel Studios is really a fan of. These villains that are not quite villains. Like you get where he's coming from. Basically, he wants to protect his people because he feels like they've been endangered, especially since in Black Panther, where Black Panther announced to the world that Wakanda is open for business, that Wakanda wants to help the world, but Wakanda didn't consider the empire below them, like in the water in Talcon. So Namor got ticked off about that because you have outside forces looking for vibranium and that sort of thing. So I won't go into any more details about that. So this movie was kind of like a war movie where you had Wakanda pitted against Talcon at some point, and I don't think that's a spoiler. I think that's common knowledge. There is that war movie aspect to it. I must admit, though, when you go to that underwater civilization, because they were doing their best to separate it from Aquaman, the DC Aquaman, that sort of thing, obviously. This movie, like the depiction of that underwater city, it's dark. It's not as at least I found it to be dark in terms of actual lighting. It was a bit tough to make out people like what they looked like and stuff like that. But in Aquaman, everything's bright and glowing and that sort of thing. So I don't know if that was like an intentional kind of thing that Coogler was going after. I know they wanted to make a definite distinction between Aquaman because that's already in the marketplace. People over, it made over $1 billion. So he knew that going in. He wanted it to be separate from Aquaman. So I wonder if the dark kind of thing, just the lighting he wanted to go for, I guess. I wish it was a little bit brighter, to be honest, but it was fine the way it was. So yeah, so I thought Namor, I thought he was handled appropriately. I thought the actor was good. I could see him doing some. Obviously, he's gonna, Namor is gonna be a bigger, I guess player down the road in the MCU. So that's cool. I'm very curious to see what the next step is for him. So this movie has some surprises. Obviously, I won't get into. You'll be like, oh, okay, all right. The mid credit scene. All I'm going to say is it's very touching. I think it's a very appropriate way to end Phase 4 movie wise. It was very appropriate. So there you go. So overall, I thought Ryan Coogler and the team, cast, crew, Marvel Studios guys, I thought they all did a solid job with this. I thought it was good. There are parts of me, I was watching the movie. I know what I'm going to say is probably not going to go down well with people, but I thought the first Black Panther was good, but I've only seen it once at the theater. I've had no desire to see it again. I don't know. It just didn't, it was good, but I don't know. It just didn't seem rewatchable to me. But seeing Wakanda Forever, I don't know. I think I would definitely rewatch this. Just the action scenes alone, I thought were really well done. the pacing, I like the pacing. I was not bored. The music, whoever did the score, I thought it was good as well, just keeping your interest. There were a lot of emotional scenes in this, right? So it may be tough to keep interest, especially with a younger audience. But I found the music had these hooks to them, had the hooks to keep you engaged. I thought that was a nice little device Coogler used there. So listen, Ryan Coogler, if you're watching this, congratulations, man. Like, I did not expect you guys to pull this off. So tip of the cap to you, sir, and the team. I know it was under some terrible circumstances, but you made it work. And it was a solid film, a solid way to end phase 4 in regards to the movie side of things. So that's my review. Non-spoiler. I didn't say anything because I thought I might, but I didn't. So that's good. All right. So that's it for the review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share the video. Until next time, we'll see you later.